One of the things I love that whenever I see your posts, a good majority of them is your kids are singing, your kids are worshiping, your kids are declaring. You guys watch the NASA launch. Like, I feel like you guys you're embodying what I think I would encourage most Christian leaders and believers to do is as a family. What was it like going through this with your family, with your children? What was it like for them kind of seeing the world now in a whole new light?
You mean on the political stuff?
I would say on everything, man, because from your mission trips
Yeah.
to around the world to your refugee work.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important for us to, there's a couple different like methodologies around parenting. And I think some people, they either choose to kind of build their life around their kids, and then other people decide to have their kids join their life. And I think it's really important for us to create a journey and a narrative that our kids can be a part of. Because if the kids end up becoming the journey, they end up most of the time self-absorbed with a very small worldview and perspective. And so for us, we kind of built our framework around parenting of having our kids be involved in the action, for them to grow up, going with us to Iraq in the middle of the height of ISIS, so that they would not build up a worldview of fear against Muslims or hatred against the Middle East, but that they would be on the ground watching God break out in the midst of war. Same thing in the I guess you could say in the political realm. That one was a little more difficult, I think, because the campaign trail has not typically been a place for children. It's very intense. But I felt like that my kids actually really carried the message for California, actually for America, bright-eyed, full of optimism and hope, knowing that we have a lot of things in our nation that we need to change, that we need to bring healing to, but yet always carrying the perspective. I love that verse in Isaiah. It says that in the year of King Uzziah's death, I saw the Lord seated high, and the whole world declared the earth is full of his glory, or all of heaven declared the earth is full of his glory. And so sometimes there's a beauty in the perspective of children to not even realize what they're up against. And we as adults, we can get so intellectually, we can get so heavy by so much that we know, we forget the simple principles of the gospel. And this is why Jesus said, unless you become like a little child, you can't even inherit the kingdom. It's because we need that perspective to understand, like sometimes we get too inundated by what we know, and it prohibits us from having childlike trust. So I would say that not only I feel like my kids probably have a worldview that a lot of kids growing up in America might not have, but I feel like they've also been a gift to us, as they've been able to remind us of the simplicity of who God is, that he's still on the throne, and the whole way that they approach life has been very, very innocent and pure. And so we're really thankful. And my encouragement is that more people would do that. Our at the same time, our children are not fragile. The Holy Spirit can speak to them. He can take care of them. They've seen the worst devastation on planet Earth. My children have seen with their own eyes. Took my daughter with me about 4 months ago, and we went and visited a project we have in rural India, villages of India, where we're rescuing temple prostitute children that are rescued out of temple prostitution at the age of 5 years old. They're perpetually molested every day. And we have a project of rescuing them. And I brought my daughter there to see it firsthand. And there was a lot of conversations and a lot of tears and a lot of, how can God overcome this? But yet at the end of the day, she comes out with such a strong perspective. And so anyway, we need to engage with our kids. They carry massive keys for breakthrough in our lives.
Yeah, so good.